My name is Christoph Koch. I'm a professor of computer science, and I teach the course Making Intelligent Things for computer scientists, for undergrads, here in the makerspace. So the goal of this course is to basically teach students to work in teams, in projects. The main project that the students work on is proposed by the students themselves. The projects are typically combining some physical artifact, might be a robot or something like that, with sensors and actuators, with software development, right? So there's microcontrollers involved. Sometimes these microcontrollers talk to the students' laptops, right, for more advanced computational tasks, and the goal is then to kind of, do something that has some notion of intelligence emerging from it. The course has three phases. There's a tutorial phase, there is an individual project phase, and there's a team project phase. These phases are somewhat interleaved. In the tutorial phase, we try to get the students up to speed on things that our computer science students are usually not very familiar with. Microcontroller programming, dealing with motors, some electronics work, 3D printing, soldering, and things like that. The problem is that our computer science students are usually very good at software, right? But in many cases they have had no experience working with microcontrollers, they had no experience in electronics. They might know a little bit from fundamental concepts, but have no practical experience. In the individual project, which is usually something that takes maybe 4 weeks of the semester, but again it's overlapping with other things, they build one little thing that we have designed thoroughly for them. So it's really about putting these things that they have kind of learned into practice and making sure that everybody individually has a certain level on these things, right, of confidence and skill. Regarding the main part of the course, which is this big project, that is taking something like 10 weeks or 11 weeks, again overlapping with the other things. And it starts basically by the students coming up with a proposal for an idea, a topic, right? And it goes through a couple of phases where they produce a more and more detailed kind of document designing the thing, right? And at multiple stages we give them feedback. In some cases we might have to tell them, well, this is not possible at all, right? Because it's going to be too dangerous, too expensive, or something like that. But we try to encourage them to come up with the ideas, and then we really work hard to make some version of that work, right? So there's documents they produce, and at some point, the actual kind of prototyping starts, and there is a kind of steady state in the middle of the course where basically every week is based on them making progress. We're meeting them weekly, myself, the teaching assistants, right? And we basically of course make sure that the project goes ahead smoothly. We see what their problems are, we help them with the problems, and so on. There is a final presentation at the end of the semester, kind of an event where they can invite their friends and family, etc., to show off their thing, which might have been very successful with a lot of people showing up. And this ends the course. There are no exams. The grading is basically project-based only.
Je m'appelle Robin Beauchaté, je suis en deuxième de bachelor dans la section système de communication. On s'est décidé à faire un serpent robotique. On a mis 10 semaines pour le faire et il fait 1,20 m de long. On utilise 12 servomoteurs, il peut aller en avant, en arrière, on a 3 types de mouvements. Et on avait peur de ne pas réussir à le faire avancer, on est très content parce qu'il avance très bien, il se dirige, on arrive à le faire aller où on veut et de manière plutôt aisée. C'était très intéressant parce qu'on était obligé de travailler avec nos mains quand même, parce qu'on fait quelque chose de concret. On n'est pas sur du code seulement sur l'ordinateur, on doit allier un peu de hardware et de conception électronique, conception mécanique dans notre projet qui comporte quand même beaucoup d'informatique. Et du coup c'est très intéressant d'avoir cette liaison entre tous ces domaines.
20 years ago, 30 years ago, computer science students would learn to program computers on a very low level. But nowadays we have been moving to higher and higher level programming languages that in a sense are easier to use, right? Scripting languages such as Python and so on, where people are not really challenged to understand the low-level workings of a computer anymore. And in the context of embedded systems, where we have like a microcontroller that interacts with physical hardware in a strong sense, that's something that they don't learn anywhere else in a practical way in our curriculum right now. A course like this would not be possible without the makerspace we have now at EPFL, and it's not just a great resource, it's a necessary resource. Without it, it would be impossible. I mean, we have no such space, but in IC for sure, right? And it's not just the space, it's also the people, right? And I think there's some fantastic staff that are really helpful, and to the students, but also to me, and I'm really enjoying working with them.